All right, ladies and gentlemen, very good afternoon, all of you guys. It's actually 12 plus right now. We had a bit of a delay, but we're finally here, and this is the third qualifier for the road to Blizzcon and the Heroes of the Storm C Championship, in which one team will represent SEA, and there will be a very nice clash of titans in that particular series. It's the regional finals. Every country has the right to send one team into Bangkok, Thailand, and that's where they're going to play for up to 40,000 US dollars. But today, all we're interested in is to get the two teams that will qualify from this qualifier into our very own Singapore National Finals. I'm Babel, and I'm going to be the host as well as shoutcaster for today. Hope you guys enjoy my company here. And right off the bat, we did some live draw. And it's very interesting that we got a very good first game, which basically meant that two of your most favorite teams for this qualifier will be facing off in a single elimination round one. That's not necessarily what was planned, but it happened. So that means that there will be upsets along the way, and that you will have very good opportunities for the rest of the teams to qualify in second place, or maybe even to take up the final slot in the grand finals in this particular qualifier. So without further ado, let me bring you the game between Salt Gaming as well as Mahou Shounen. So it's interesting to note that Mahou Shounen is a team that was previously known as Julian and Friends. They decided to not be friends any longer, and they want to be magical young boys after that. A very interesting Japanese twist to that. I spoke to the team before this series began, and they said that they want to really just ride on rainbow unicorns and make life really awesome for each other. So very good, man. Really good. On the flip side, we got Salt Gaming with abbreviation SALT on the left side. Right side, MHS. Okay, so some interesting tidbits on the roster changes for Salt Gaming. Kazu used to be part of Salt Gaming, but I think he got ditched by the team, and Julian, out of pure sympathy, decided to pick him up and into the team there. Of course, I'm talking a lot of trash. It's not half truths there, really. 100% accurate. So Salt Gaming versus Mahou Shounen for the first game. Map decided. It's going to be Sky Temple. Decided by Salt Gaming. And Mahou Shounen, of course, is a very interesting new team. They're made up of Julian, Virgilus, Kazu, Rai, and Yu Yang. These are really big names in the SG scene. We got Julian and Virgilus ex-Ingenium members, as well as Rai and Yu Yang ex-No Breaks members. And these two teams actually were champions in different phases of this game's short little launch here. We have in the alpha stages No Breaks as champions, and we also held a community cup back in March, in which Ingenium won that one there. So we got some remnants of champions on MHS, plus Kazu, who doesn't fit the bill apparently, but he's there. So we have we got some very good draft here already. First pick and ban coming from MHS. It's going to be a Lost Viking ban for them, specifically because Sky Temple is the kind of map that you don't want to deal with Lost Viking. And for Salt Gaming, you also have Johanna getting banned directly. Now this may not necessarily mean anything more or less than the fact that they hate Yu Yang's Johanna. He's renowned to be a beast on Johanna. He plays as if he's never going to die, and he just charges in, the team follows, and it's really mayhem. So we got a first pick on Sylvanas, which is really good for MHS. Mahou Shounen's Sylvanas is definitely going to be good in this particular map, in which split push is so important. And for Salt Gaming, you got Kilthas, Anubarak, Snap picks, both God tier picks for Salt Gaming. So Kilthas is like a time bomb on your opponents. You want to make sure that you drag the game past a level 16, in which you pick a very important talent that stacks two of his skills together. And that's where you have the Living Bomb as well as Flame Strike for Kilthas. Anubarak on the flip side really is just a very good tank, also doing a lot of damage, possibly one of the highest damage dealing warrior in this game so far. And for Mahou Shounen, you got Brightwing, you got Jaina. Jaina is so good with Brightwing because of the fact that Jaina can slow your enemies a lot. Brightwing also will have Polymorph. Polymorph is like a natural counter against very strong carries. You can also break shields, you can slow them, depending on what talent you pick, whether it's Criterize or the other one being picked up in this particular game. Now, Brightwing also is strong on Sky Temple because of the fact that Brightwing has global mobility with Teleport. So making sure that Brightwing can assist allies all over the map is very important. Brightwing can be split pushing and can be joining the team after when the temple spawns. So Mahou Shounen's draft so far looking very good. Now Salt Gaming deciding to go for Zagara. Zagara is a very unorthodox, interesting pick here. It could be the Niger's heroic for Zagara, in which you see a lot of aggression on isolated lanes. Or it could also be Devouring Maw, which is kind of more likely the case here. Devouring Maw will help set up very, very good zones for the entire team. Malfurion will be able to heal the team up, and Malfurion, the king of sustained healing. Who are we kidding? This guy will make sure your team stays alive. But of course, it's not a burst heal, which means that if you're up against a burst comp, you will still die. Mahou Shounen follows up with two very good picks, Zeratul and Tyrael. Now Zeratul can be played with Shadow Assault or even the Void Prism. I'm kind of inclined to think it's Void Prism because of the fact that Zeratul can counter Devouring Maw. Say for example, Zagara lands a perfect Devouring Maw on 3 people. Alright, you will expect Flame Strike, Malfurion's heal, the Entangling Roots to come out, Anubarak with some chain stuns, but Zeratul can cancel all of that with Void Prison. Zeratul normally will not travel with the pack. He's kind of like a lone assassin on the right side, on the left side, all over the place. So that's the kind of guy Zeratul is. And as long as he sees a very good Devouring Maw, he can counter that out immediately. Tyrael, a fantastic dive comp, which really makes Mahou Shounen's draft very aggressive. They can jump on the enemy, looking to burst them down, and that's where you have a very strong lineup for them, jumping on the back line. Kilthas, life is in a lot of danger. They have to make sure that Kilthas is alive for all of those poke damage to come through. Meanwhile, Salt Gaming will follow up and finish this draft with Arthas. That is very, very unorthodox because of the fact that Arthas is not personally what is regarded as the top 3, top 4 picks for all warriors. It normally is Muradin. Arthas here only means that they're looking at even more setups, even more slow, which is kind of okay. Arthas also sets up a very good perimeter to defend Kilthas, and also you can see that that kind of slow counteracts against Jaina's slow. So Arthas' main job here really is to tank up a lot of damage. He's not necessarily the most tanky kind of guy. He can heal. He can use the Raise Dead skill, the heroic there, just to make sure he stays alive a little bit longer. And that's what I kind of like about Arthas. He's also going to be one of the most painful warriors in this particular game, alongside Anubarak. So you got dual tanks up on Salt Gaming. They got a lot of zoning. I really like the fact they got a lot of zoning, but it's all going to go downhill if Kilthas dies. And you have a Flying Judgment coming in. You got Tyrael on that one. You got Zeratul with a lot of pokes, with those Singularity spikes, with those bling. With Jaina, good follow-up on the slow. That's about it. And if Tyrael uses Judgment, follow with a Brightwing, quick teleport into an Emerald, when it could spell a lot of trouble. The zoning efforts may actually go down drain there for Salt Gaming. So this is where it's interesting to note that both sides have got very good, well thought out drafts. It's going to be a very execution reliant. I personally prefer Mahou Shounen's draft a little bit better. It seems like they have the better end of that bargain because of the fact that they can counter a good Devouring Maw, and also the fact that you can jump in on the enemy's soul damage dealer. No one else on that team there can do a lot of burst damage except for Kilthas, and I think that they're going to have a very hard time for Salt Gaming in the first 16 levels, because you need Kilthas at level 16 to do maximum damage. And that's where it will really, really be scary for Team Salt Gaming. But right now, we are going into game. This is the first game. People are expecting this to be a close series that will close out at 2-1. I personally hope to see a BO3 as in all the way down to the ace match between both of these teams. But yeah, Sky Temple, man, my favorite map as well. Let's take a look on the map statistics for Sky Temple. It's a particular map with 3 different temples spawning, and also have a very, very good amount of mercenary camps split all over the place. Salt Gaming versus Mahou Shounen. Some Japanese want to be on the right side. Salt Gaming, of course, very local. And you have Sky Temple here. 3 temples. Awesome amount of mercenary camps. 1 boss, 2 siege, 2 bruiser, and 3 temples. Pretty big map, kind of like the brightness of this map. It's one of the more sunshine kind of map as compared to all your other map pools there. So straight out, the game has started, but we are not going to change to the game screen just yet. Actually, we are. Thank you, Zenden. We're doing that because they are doing a bit of a technical difficulty here, or rather, they're trying to resolve a technical difficulty. It seems like Quiddy's mic is not really very cooperative today. So we hope that the mic either changes itself or someone comes in to help. But yeah, meanwhile, let's take a look at this particular game here. Mahou Shounen on the right side on the red team. On the left side, we got Salt Gaming. So Kazu leaving the team. Actually, I think the sides are wrong. Mahou Shounen's on the blue team. So we're going to change the overlay around a little bit. And yeah, there we go. All right, instant stuff. All right, fantastic producer I have here. Yeah, he does everything except what I tell him to do. So we have on the blue team, Virgilus on the Jaina, Kazu there playing very nicely as the Brightwing, and Julian and Rai, can't really tell who's what there, but we'll talk about them a little bit later. We got Yu Yang quickly onto the Tyrael. It seems like Julian is going to be playing as the Zeratul, and Rai will be onto Sylvanas. Julian's actually the support player of the team, but with Kazu here, I think he doesn't need to play support. Maybe that's why. On the red team, we got Salt Gaming, Kaigari onto Zagara, Fiamma there onto the Malfurion. Sliderbite will be playing as Arthas, and Quadi onto the Underbarak. Telstro there onto the Kiltas. So we got very interesting first series, and this is, ladies and gentlemen, the third qualifier for the Singapore National Finals on the road to BlizzCon and the Heroes of the Storm C Championship. We are playing for a total prize pool of 1,500 Singapore dollars today, as well as qualification for national finals. I'll talk about talents a little bit later, but it seems like both teams are actually looking at some fantastic positioning already. All right, so gonna solve that. All right. So looking into the first phase of this game, you don't see any quick fight happening just yet. So that's a little bit different. Not going to see that kind of introduction coming in. But what you can see here is that we got some talent choices. Interesting, Deep Chill. Very standard stuff. Regeneration Master. Bribe as well. Kilthas dropping on the top lane meanwhile. And Julian nearly dying. Very close shave. Will be fine. Bribe, back to Bribe on Brightwing. I think Bribe is really strong in this map because of the fact that you need to make sure that the mercenary camps work in your favor. With the win is very standard stuff that helps increase the range. By standard, I mean it's popular picks, nothing unorthodox happening yet. Regeneration Master on Tyrael means that this is not necessarily going to be a jumpy kind of guy. It's not like he's going to burst down with Smite. He is still going to do substantial damage there, but he's looking for more tank talents here, and that could be because of the fact that he's the only warrior in the team up against a dual warrior composition. You got to make sure that your warrior stays alive first. If not, you're going to lose the front line. Meanwhile, on Salt Gaming, it's Regeneration Master up on Arthas, as well as the standard Beetle build and a very different Centrifugal hooks coming up for Zagara. So Zagara's also going to look to chip some damage from a extended range here in this game. That's why, you know, you pick Centrifugal hooks. And that's kind of okay. Meanwhile, Polymorph onto what looks like Arthas is going to be okay at the end. But yeah, so we also have Conjure's Pursuit up on Malfurion and Mana Edict, which is okay. Mana Edict is fine. Some Kilthas players really like the increased cooldown, or rather reduction of cooldown on Gravity Labs, which kind of works well when you stack the Verdant Sphere onto Gravity Labs. But for this particular game, I think that most Kilthas player for this map, they want to make sure they have substantial mana before they commit to any of those big plays on Gravity Labs. Although it almost guarantees a double stun, but here it seems like they don't really want that. So straight off the bat, you see Mahou Shounen with a slight advantage already, and the temple-wise, kind of fair treatment on both sides. Red team with the top temple, blue team with the bottom temple. All looks to be pretty okay so far. It's good to see that both Sylvanas as well as Zagara did not leave the lane on the bottom side of this map. That's very important. And all that thought, here comes Virgilus with a Blizzard, picks up the kill. Zagara goes down. So far, 2 kills for MHS up against Salt here. And also can see some entangling roots onto Kazu on the mid lane. Nothing really aggressive yet from Fiamma on that particular lane. But so far, very, very safe rotations, very standard disciplined rotations from both sides. And as you can see, the Bruiser camp going to the red team, already captured by them a little bit early. Normally, teams will want to pick this up at the 4th minute mark, just because the next wave of temple spawns at about 4:30 without any delay on any side here. So for this particular game, I would expect that the Bruiser camp not get picked up a little bit earlier, but still Salt with that alternative strategy now. the very early Bruiser camp, slightly earlier, in fact, will be pushing down the top 4. And if this goes through, they will be able to catch up in terms of EXP here. They need their level 7 before the next temple spawns. And they will get that. Also going to see Sylvanas with a good rotation up to the top lane just to clear this entire pushing wave here of minions. Looking into more talents, meanwhile, you see Snowstorm, which is a little bit different. Normally, teams don't go for Snowstorm. Jaina with Snowstorm basically means that you want to have an increased area of burst on Blizzard. And hold that thought. Cordy top lane, some trouble going on. Anubarak, some slow coming down. And the stun, not really effective. Cordy is still going to go down at the end. But yeah, back to talents, man. We have got a very standard 0-2 build with the focus attack follow through. And for Jaina, also going to see some increased bonus. So this is really kind of like a bursty Jaina, not the standard increased utility, range kind of Jaina. This one is kind of like a little bit bursty, with a little bit more extra damage, and some slow increment as well. For Brightwing, it looks pretty okay. Some heals, some shields. And for Sylvanas, very, very standard stuff with unstable poison. Normally, teams will go for Remorseless because of the fact you want to do more damage with the Q ability there, the Withering Fire. But for this particular Rise, looking at pushing, it works well for this map. No complaints there. We'll see what happens. For Tyrael, it is going to be better momentum as well as Amplify Healing, which means that he's not going to go down easily for this particular map here. Like I mentioned, this is going to be a tank Tyrael. So Sliderbite dropping, Sliderbite in a lot of trouble, some shields coming out. Sliderbite, after this, will be fine at the end. He does have the Death Coil to make sure he stays alive. And that's very important. So straight off the bat, you see a very different strategy adopted by both teams. Blue team with a bit more effort on the bottom lane. And when I mean a little bit more effort, I mean like you see 4 members rotating down south. Red team only has 3, whereas the other 2 members are soaking EXP in the respective lanes. Top lane 4 is gone already. And that's where you have Salt slightly catching up. They do lose most of the structures down on the bottom lane. And by structures, I mean the gate, the towers, the healing well, which is very important. You don't want to lose your healing well. And if you give a full-blown fully charged temple to your enemy, you are going to lose that healing well. This is where, if you try and gank Fiamma and Kaigari, they have to actually teleport back home with Hearthstone just to make sure that they can regenerate in time. The healing well's not there anymore. Also losing the healing well in the mid lane, Mahou Shounen's actually got a lot more of an advantage than it seems. They got 2 healing wells, very nicely positioned. The only advantage that they don't have is the top healing well and fort completely erased. So what that means for the red team is that if they continue to pressure on top lane, if they gang anyone on the top lane, they're not going to get anything off. Meanwhile, Zagara, for a very big devouring wall, will still go down at the end. Yu Yang's there. Virgilus is also there as well. Qwerty with a bit of a questionable rotation there. Should have gone by this way. And I think that he's going to be okay at the end. So level 10 already. It seems like we have some high definition audio problems here. I think. Okay, we solved that. That's good. So back to this game. We have heroic talents being picked up already on the blue team. It is going to be the Water Elemental, Void Prison, Blink Heal, Wailing Arrow, and Judgment. So this is not going to be the Judgment Emerald win composition. They're not looking for anti-zoning measures. What they're looking for is sustained healing. And it kind of makes sense because it's only 1 support player and 3 damage dealers on this team. You got to make sure that Brightwing does a lot of heavy lifting to keep the team alive. On the red team for Salt Gaming, you got superiority on to Arthas as well as Runetap. And this actually helps with pushing a little bit for Arthas. And it seems like they are really looking for a split push strategy. Not really sure how that's going to work out for them with Syndragosa, Locust Swarm, Devouring Maw, Tranquility, as well as a Phoenix for Salt Gaming. So immediately what I can think of for this team is that they got a lot of CC, a lot of AoE. You're looking at Syndragosa flyby with a Locust Swarm there, and Phoenix with even more zoning damage coming from Salt Gaming. Centrifuga hooks very effective. Some burst damage from Zagara. But the boss camp still going to the blue team. So temple-wise, we're looking at a red team picking up the mid temple, blue team picking up the bottom temple, with the boss pushing the bottom lane as well. The mid temple is gone. The mid fort is gone for the red team. Top fort, not so much. I think that it's still kind of holding up quite well. Void Prison on Talstro. A lot of trouble. Julian goes in for the clip, but the Devouring Maw is not able to save the teammate at the end of the day. And here comes Quiddy. More stands in place. Sindragosa coming out. Yu Yang now in a lot of trouble. Gonna try and back up. Kazu doing a lot of healing there. Quiddy dropping 3 damage against the Bak there. The Bak gonna get squashed. And also gonna see a stun from the boss. Kaigari pulling back. Slider bite. Nearly dropping. Rai. Big play. Teleports in with the Haunting where he picks up 2 kills. 4 men down on Salt. Mahou Shounen with those magical ponies. All that damage coming out somehow. Level 14 against level 12 right there. 9 minutes in. What an interesting position for them. In fact, they also got 1 extra talent advantage. The Phoenix coming a little bit too slow here. Telstra unfortunately dropping before that engagement. They will lose the entire bottom keep as well as all structures affiliated with the bottom lane right there. So we are going for a replay right now. Let's check that out. The camera is still not available, and we're going to fix that. So, yeah, do know the first stream of the day, normally this kind of stuff happens. Well, it seems like he's going to fix it, so that's good. Meanwhile, back to this game. So, level 15 on the blue team, level 13 on the red. If you look at the talents here, you see Zagara with Spell Shield, Rapid Incubation, which kind of heals him, keeps him alive a little bit longer. And Venom Spines is very important because it actually helps with increased range. And also some DOT. I kind of like this split damage up there. And Yu Yang jumping on Telstra again. Telstra missing Gravity Labs. Telstra now pulling back even more. Fiamma goes down. And the Void Prison capturing both of them behind there just in the gate radius. I think it still is going to be okay. Telstra should be able to pull back just fine. But you can see Mahou Shounen's level 16 already. And until Salt gets 16, Telstra is not really able to do all those damage. We check in onto the damage chart here. Man, Kilthas with 3,000 hero damage. It's not really his fault. He's kind of dying a lot in team fights because of the fact that you got a dive comp on the blue team. A lot of damage, a lot of mobility. You have Julian poking. You have Yu Yang flying in. And everything can go wrong from there. Telstra needs level 16. In fact, if he gets level 20, he is really going to be in a good spot because of Bolt of the Storm and making sure that he disengages when you have the Judgment flying in. But so far, I think Zagar's doing majority of the damage, and I'm quite okay with that. That's kind of pleasant for all of you guys to see as well. And we already see a level 16 talent made available for MHS here. It is going to be Numbing Blast, so this is going to be a little bit more utility-based, not really for increased shield pressure. I thought that he's going for Northern Exposure on that talent pickup just to stack with Cold Embrace, which actually means even more vulnerability on the red team. It works well for a dive comp, but I guess they know that they are ahead and they really want that extra CC on Jaina, and that kind of works well as for the whole team there. For Zeratul on the flip side, you can see that it is going to be a wormhole. And Rending Clee, very standard Zeratul pick, nothing completely unorthodox. Telstra getting constantly picked on by Julian. He really hates him. And here comes the Sindragosa, some roots going on to the Zeratul there. Kaigari, oh, here comes the silence, not in the nick of time. Also going to see the Tranquility popping, Devouring Maw not connecting, Fiamma pulling back, Kaigari, some trouble there, Qwerty in some good position, the silence coming out, and Qwerty still now going down, lots of heal from the Malfurion. The damage is already over. Rai, again, with more vulnerability being used onto the Anubark there with the Cold Embrace. It seems like it's really working for the blue team. They keep out the pressure. Kazu, a lot of heals. Rai dropping, Flame Strikes, a lot of effect there. Yu Yang dropping as well. Gravity Lab's going to connect, and Yu Yang going to pop back out. May just go down. Slider by not able to go in. Qwerty jumps right back in, and there goes the burst from Julian, and Qwerty goes down. Now also can see Malfurion in a lot of trouble, and Fiamma goes down. Slider by now, even more trouble for Arthas. The Lich King runs back to his throne, but Zeratul dethrones him, and he goes down as well. Telstra and Kaigari's all that's left for the red team here. Man, top keep is gone. Bottom keep has been erased off the map very, very early on. And I think that here is where you can see that the bruiser can pick up by the blue team is a statement of absolute map control here for all of them. And finally, red team hits level 16. So this is very important for the red team. We have Telstra's full talents unlocked pre-level 20. All right, so I know that there's still level 20 talent, but he is not looking to get that unless they win some team fights with level 16 talents. So let's look into the level 16 talent choices here. To summarize it up, I think it looks very okay. Stone Skin, more tank stuff for Arthas. He needs that to stay alive. Zagara as well. And you have Tenacious Roots, that's very important. Do note that Malfruit actually didn't go for increased heal on the regrowth. He does have the duration, but he doesn't have the increased heal on that. So basically, it is going to be Ice Block for Malfurion. And that's what's keeping him alive in most team fight. It works well if your team can zone them out properly. But in this particular lineup, they're jumping. It's very hard to zone them out with just Devouring Maw, with just the Anubarak. You're going to have to make sure that the plays are fantastic, top tier, just to zone them out. Slider by, getting caught off guard here. Here comes Blizzard, and down goes Arthas. Wasted the judgment from Yu Yang. Baited that out at the end, but still, Red Team can find no comfort in that. Zeratul with the Void Prison to buy more time. The boss will spawn. They will not be in time for the snatch on the boss camp. But yeah, so back to talents here. We got Ignite as well as Flamethrower. So Ignite is what applies Living Bomb to Flame Strikes to heroes, and that works really well for more damage. This is where Kilthas is starting to become a problem. If he gets level 20, it's a big problem. So I really hope the Red Team holds on here. They need to soak more EXP across all 3 lanes. It's the only way they can get level 20. They got to avoid all engagements. The blue team, it's up to them to apply the pressure right now. They don't have the boss to work with. That's very important for them. They just completed 2 waves, or rather 1 wave of 2 temples. So that really helped them push the mid keep here, but it is still not going to be enough. They need to apply a lot more pressure while they still have the upper hand. Although we have the core down to just about 48%, but this is not going to be good enough. Level 20 choices. We got Bolt of the Storm on Jaina. We got Nexus Blades up on Zeratul, which is okay. I think this means that Zeratul really wants to hunt people down. Nexus Blade kind of works well for Zeratul. Some teams opt to go for ally-friendly Void Prison, and that kind of works. But for this particular lineup, I think that going for the burst on Telstra is even more important than anything else. And we got Brightwing Storm Shield for extra utility. And again, we got high definition stuff. I think that my audio is getting some problem. So they are fixing that right now. But yeah, so we have Bolt of the Storm on Sylvanas as well as Hardened Shield. All right, also, once again, for all of those viewers watching online, thank you for being here. If you have any problems with the stream, be it latency, be it audio issues, any feedback at all, drop it on the Twitch chat. The producers are looking into the Twitch chat at all times. So as long as you complain about it, they will fix it. So we have a very single player mentality right there. But yeah, level 18 on Salt, level 20 on Mahou Shounen. Slider Bite shouldn't be picking a fight here, and they should be going for more soak. But the temple will spawn. They don't have time left. They still don't get a level 20. They got to pick off members. Yeah, I have to take back that statement that they don't have much of a choice. Blue team. Oh, here goes the jump on Fiamma. Ice block just in the nick of time. Here comes the Syndra Gosa. Phoenix comes out, but a 3-man Void Prison buying a lot of time for the blue team. Yu Yang getting ditched right here. And attack. Mages go down. They want to fight for the temple just yet. It's a top temple, not the meat one, the core at 23%. And the blue team still trying to suck up all of the core out of the bottom lane. They still have the temple on the top as well. And the core goes down. Finally, Kazu wins them this game. Salt, man. Oh, God. And it seems like we still have this high-definition audio by ROG. Just to let you guys know, it's really high definition. That's all they want to say. My computer has got a mind of its own, right? So, no, they're actually plugging in things and out of my PC, which is why you have that. But anyway, yeah, we have no replays ready. They're still looking into that. Actually, no, they don't have that. So... yeah, man, first game, crazy game. Close, not so much. 13-1 in terms of kills for this particular game. I think that Red Team, when they pick this kind of lineup, Telstra has to play very safely. It's not his fault. It's kind of the fact that they pick Kel'Thas, they have to anticipate the Tyrell pick. And that's where you have Zagara coming in. And I think they actually have a pretty good understanding of what breaks the lineup here for Salt. But the execution phase, not so good. They know they have to soak EXP. They soaked that really well pre-level 10. They gave out the bottom temple, which is the better choice as well. And yeah, I think that at the end of the day, it's just about the fact that they don't get the level 16 advantage. They're not able to win a proper team fight. And you can see clearly the moment they try to clash towards the end, you don't have that you don't have Mahou Shounen, willing for a big fight. They're just avoiding the fight as and when possible. They want to win this by temple victory, and they got just that. So yeah, 1-0 right now, going for Mahou Shounen. We're going for a slight break, and we'll be right back with Game 2 real soon. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, guys. If you do, give me a like on my Facebook page. Appreciate you guys. We have a very long day, and see you guys real soon. Don't go anywhere. Really working well for the blue team. They're looking to do a lot of sustained damage, bit by bit, small pokes. Okay, maybe not so small, big pokes, a timed interval of 9